Hi everyone, welcome once again. If this is your first time of watching this channel, this is Queen of Truth and I am Nelly. Here we discuss about whatever God puts in my heart to talk about to the people, whatever God puts in me to tell the people. That's what I dish out here. Okay, so for a long time now, Spirit has been nudging me to put out a topic which I've been skeptical about putting out here. Okay, because I don't know how people will see it or how people will look at it. It's talking about having multiple sexual partners. Having multiple sexual partners is not what we actually think. In the spiritual realm, it has effects that we may not know about. It has effects that we are not aware of. Even as a woman, it has effects. It's not just having multiple partners does not just apply to men. It applies to both men and women. Women can have multiple sexual partners, while men also can have multiple sexual partners. So having multiple sexual partners can affect our life by depleting our energy and also stunting our growth in life. Having multiple sexual partners creates a soul tie. It creates something we call a soul tie between those partners. So when you have multiple sexual partners, you're creating a soul tie with them. That soul tie is called astral tube. This astral tube connects individuals to one another who have sexual encounter with each other. So when you have sexual encounter with one another, you connect through the astral tubes. And this astral tubes is what makes you loyal to your partner. It is what makes you stand by each other, is what makes you connect emotionally with each other, is what makes you love one another till eternity. This astral tube is what helps in the telepathic connection with each other. So you see the reason why it is not good to have a multiple sexual partner, because when you have multiple sexual partners, you thereby create so many astral tubes with those multiple sexual partners. And when you create that those multiple tubes, it now channels different energies from those different partners to you, which is not good. Because when you have those multiple partners, you carry over their negative personality traits. You also carry over their burdens. Because you exchange energy with them, and that energy exchange causes you to have, maybe if they have a negative trait, you take it over and exchange yours to them. So imagine you having multiple sexual partners and having multiple astral tubes with them, and those people have multiple sexual partners and then have so many astral tubes connected to them also. Whenever they have encounter with those people, it comes to you, they connect it to you. Whenever you have with other people, you connect it to them. This is how the energy has been exchanged. So you take up energies that are not yours. You end up taking up energies that are not yours. You end up taking courses that are not yours. You end up taking karmas that are not yours. You end up taking negative traits. You carry their burdens through sexual intercourse. You pick up their negative traits. You trauma bond yourself. You put yourself in a spiritual binding with them. When you have multiple sexual partners, you're creating a spiritual binding with all of them. Imagine when you have 3 sexual partners, you know how many they will have before you. So those people also have 3 sexual partners. How many do you now have? This is how this thing works. So we should be careful on how we live our life. We should be careful on how we do things. We should make our time to ask God to help us, to deliver us, to help us achieve our aim, our destiny in life. Because these things have hindered so many from moving forward. These things have hindered so many. Imagine having intercourse from someone that does not have a good luck. The person ends up transferring their bad luck to you. You take over their burdens, their negative traits, their bad lucks. You take it over in exchange for yours. So it is better not to have multiple sexual partners. It is better to have one. When you have those multiple ties, thereby creating a multiple astral tube or multiple connection with each other, it makes you connect with them spiritually. You connect with them emotionally. You connect with them in the spirit realm. Whatever their karma is, sometimes you take over karma from people you have sexual encounter with. When you have encounter with someone, you carry the person's burden, the person's physical and spiritual burdens. You pick up their negative traits, thereby engaging in a trauma bonding with each other. Having a sexual encounter with someone creates a trauma bond with the person. It creates something we call a spiritual bonding with that person. Imagine when you now have a multiple sexual partners, it means you're going to have a multiple negative traits from each partners that you're having encounter with. A person coming into your life could be your karma because you refuse to make the right choice. When you make the right choice, you know that you don't need to have multiple sexual partners. You choose to have multiple sexual encounter with multiple partners, you are not making a good choice. It shows that you don't love yourself, because if you love yourself, you won't engage in such activities. You won't engage in such activities causing suffering for yourself, causing delays in your destiny. Through that, you experience negative effects, and it is not good for your destiny. It is not good for your life. You need to have a boundary to whom you make our way. Yes, you need to have a boundary. You need to create that boundary to whom you make our way. When God shows you how to go about things and you don't do it that way, you end up involving in a serious problem. If God shows you a way and you decide to go the other way, God will end up leaving you to do your will. Since you want to try your will, since you want to try your luck, God will let you do that which you want to do first. Then in the end, you find out that God's plan is always the best. Then you go back to God. Meanwhile, then you've already contacted so many karmas along your ways. You can contact sexually transmitted infections such as syphilis, gonorrhea, HPV, HIV, and life-threatening illnesses such as cancer. So would you want to get any of this? No. I bet the answer is no. So instead, it's better to keep yourself for one person. It's better to keep yourself for one person. Focus on the one you have. You don't need to test this one, test that one, test that one. Just one person is okay for you. Just make your choice, pick the one you want and focus on that one. Because so many things happen through this astral tube. These astral tubes connect you with one another. So imagine when you have several astral tubes connected to different people, both the ones you know and the ones you don't know. When you're connected to different people, their challenges, their problems, their negative traits, even most of their lifestyle, you take it over. Their generational curse, you take it over. Their karma, most times you take over their karma from there. So would you want that to be your portion? I know nobody wants evil for themselves. But if you love yourself, you don't do that. If you love yourself, you don't have so many sexual partners. You don't have so many sexual partners. So why would you want to bring suffering to yourself through this encounter, causing long-term suffering for yourself? Because when you have this multiple sexual encounter with people, it ends up limiting your destiny. It ends up distracting you from your life purpose. It distracts you from your life purpose. It hinders you from moving forward in life. Sometimes you might get encounter with someone that does not have the brightest future. But by getting encounter with that person, you've already taken over their negative energy. Whenever you encounter someone sexually, you exchange energy with them, and you can take over their negative traits, and they take over yours. You take over their problems. If you love yourself, you don't engage in such activity, because you know fully well that this activity can hinder your life. This activity can negatively affect your future. You can limit yourself through having a multiple sexual partners. So when you think about it, is it better for you to have a 10 minutes pleasure and ruin your life forever, or keeping yourself or focusing on your future? It's better to suffer now and laugh later than to laugh now and suffer later. Because when you know that you are not going to stay with a partner for life, you don't have in mind to get married to a partner, you don't need to have a sexual encounter with the person. It is not necessary. It is absolutely unnecessary to do that. But most times we'll see it as fun. So we'll do that. Most times people do that in order to enjoy themselves. But having a 10 minutes pleasure or enjoyment does not worth a lifetime of delays, a lifetime of wrongs. It does not worth it at all. You can hinder yourself by that. When you have sexual encounter with partners you don't have any intention of signing that with, you don't have any intention of getting married to, you thereby attract long-time suffering for yourself. When you have intercourse with someone, you create a soul tie with the person, you create a spiritual bond with that person through that astral tubes. The astral tube actually is meant for married couples. That's why sex is meant for married people, married couples. If you're married to someone and you have a sexual encounter with the person, you exchange energies. You exchange energies through the astral tubes. That's why one is able to feel what the other one feels. That's why one is able to understand what one feels. Even when they are at a distance, even when they lose contact. So the choice is yours. The question we need to ask ourselves, is it better to have the whole world, enjoy the whole thing, enjoy everything in life, enjoy everything on planet Earth, than lose your soul? No, I don't think it's worth it. So think about it today. Think about your life. Think about it. Reason it. Think about it. You have the opportunity to live aright. You have the opportunity to live your life the way God wants it to be. You have the opportunity to change it right now, to pray to God to help you clear the soul ties and karmas attached to you from those multiple encounters you've had. You have the opportunity to come to God and ask Him, pray for Him to remove the soul ties for you. So when you ask God to help you remove it, there is nothing that God cannot do. God says, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy on. Come to God today, ask Him for help, and He will help you. He will answer you. He will deliver. Remember that whenever you make this wrong choice of sleeping around with people you don't have intention of settling down with, you take over their karma, and that is called a karmic wheel. You keep turning around on that wheel. You keep turning around. You have entered the cycle. You keep turning around on that wheel, and it always ends in a bad way. Learn to discern when God is calling your attention on something. Learn to hear God. Learn to listen to God. Learn to know when God is referring to you. Learn to understand God's voice. Learn to hear Him. Learn to understand instructions from Him. God is your creator and He knows everything about you. He knows how He wants your life to be, so don't change it. He always wants your life to be perfect. He always wants your life to be a wonderful one. But when you live wrongly, when you make the wrong choice, you change His plans in your life. People are way too stubborn to understand or hear God. And that is too bad. That is too bad. Sex with multiple partners is not advisable. It is not. Sex with random partners is not advisable. It is not. It is not good for you. It is not good for you. It hinders you. It makes you suffer more than you're suffering. Sex with multiple partners can cause you to have infections. Can give you can contact STIs, STDs from there. You can contact, as a woman, when you have sexual encounter with multiple partners, you can end up having a life-threatening illness such as cancer. As a man, when you have multiple sexual partners, you can contact HPV. Yes, and it's not good. Why endanger your life when you can solve the problem? They say prevention is the best. If you are a woman and you're having multiple sexual partners, please do well to stop it. And if you're a man, you're having multiple sexual partners, please do well to stop it. Because through there you can contact illness and transfer to your partner. And it is not good. You can contact, there are so many life-threatening illnesses such as HIV, cancer, etc. and all that. So if we can avoid having multiple sexual partners, then we can avoid all these illnesses. We can avoid all these diseases. Because most people don't know when they have these illnesses. Some people may have STI or STDs without even knowing it. Weeks, months, they don't know unless they go to a doctor to run a test. That's when they find out that they have these things. If this teaching has educated you and reminded you of the things you should know and the things you should remind yourself about, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? I love you. I love you.